Good evening, dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
So how's the family?
Yeah, the growing family.
The growing family.
Yeah. Are we going right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll yeah.
We'll edit.
We're not live or anything like that.
Oh no, that's cool. It's funny. I listen to podcasts, and you could do a drinking game for every time the guest says, "Are we recording?"
Right.
Almost every fucking time. So anyway, I just did the trope. But yeah, the family's good, man. Yeah, my little girl is almost 10 months old.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Time flies. Last time we talked, I can't remember when exactly that was. She was just born or just about to be born.
Yeah, the last time I talked to you directly was I was at your show in Lawrence.
Oh, well, that was sweet. That was nice. We actually got to shake hands and meet in person. Yeah, at that show in Lawrence 2019, end of 2019. I was going to say last year.
It was, wait a second, because I've actually got this in my studio. I stole a flyer.
It was like December 2019. Sometime.
It was December 28th. It was Saturday at the Bottleneck.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I love coming down there to Lawrence. It's a place I've played a lot, and I've always really enjoyed going down there. So yeah, it was nice to see you. So at that time, my wife was way pregnant. So my girl hadn't been born yet. So yeah, she was born in March, right at the beginning of all this crazy pandemic and shit. So
oh God,
she's 10 months old. So I gauge, her life is as old as this pandemic is. So anyway, but we're good, man. Like we've been holed up on the farm here, and I'm sure you've heard this story a million times, but was set to tour, and all that got canceled. My record got delayed and all that stuff. It's all old news now, but so I've just been here on the farm, not really going anywhere and I got my wife and daughter here. So it's actually, the silver lining has been that I get to be off the road and be with them. And we just been making ends meet however we can, like everyone else.
Yeah.
But we're pretty fortunate here to have some land to grow a garden on, and so it's been all right. But yeah, this whole thing's been so crazy. Just to get the obligatory pandemic talk out of the way, the whole thing's been nuts. Whatever, man, it's crazy, and we'll survive. But yeah, we're good here. Yeah, it does affect all of us, and I don't care what political affiliation you are, it affects you, and it should have been a unifying thing, but of course it wasn't. But that's a whole other thing. But hey, I can only speak to my own experience, and it's been good here on the farm.
At least politics have gotten so much better since the last time.
Yeah.
It's
unity and
yep, just came together, right?
That sense of togetherness as Americans, and
oh my gosh, okay, yeah, I don't. I'm laughing out of like I'm angry, I'm
fury,
pissed, I'm exasperated. So the laugh is not because anything's funny; it's because I'm just exasperated, and I know everyone else is too. So I'm just trying to plug along the best I can, take solace in the small beauties in the world, and my family and friends. Keep trying to keep in touch with all my buddies and sending dumb texts and emails and just trying to keep in touch and thinking of all the positive things, and trying to take a broad view, broad historical view, and every moment has its ups and downs, but so trying to stay positive, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not that anybody would think any of it's funny, but it's absurd. to a certain point, that's you laugh at the absurdity of it. Just
it's like a farce, like a farcical comedy, tragic, like a farce.
Right.
And each day is a new like head slapping. What? Like, oh my God,
right.
Every damn minute, man. Forget every day, every minute. So I try to just think, okay,
right.
We'll make it through. We'll survive. And, having talks like this is a good thing where I can just talk to cool people, man, about whatever. And we'll get all this obligatory talk out of the way. And then we'll get into some music or something, man.
Something. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's still a time that I try, and it's harder for me to come back to it, but I try to remember, you know what? You're a person that would really love to live in an interesting time, and God damn it, you got it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. And you could point to almost any time in history, and there's a lot of awful things going on, and so you can't really point to a time where everything was perfect.
Right.
And so I try to think of that too. And there's ups and downs all the time. And it's like, I always think of, for like a Jewish wedding, how they step on the glass and say Mazel Tov.
Right.
I've seen it in movies, depicted in movies and stuff. And I've come to understand that that's to represent for every joy, there's an opposite destruction, or like for every good thing there's a bad thing. So I think that's what that represents. I'm pretty sure. So it's a joy of getting married, and then they smash the glass. That represents, something's coming together, and then something's breaking at the same time. And so that's how it always is, right? For every good, there's a bad and opposite and everything. So no matter what, it's somebody's best day, somebody else's worst day,
Right. Yeah. I've joked about this, but I swear to God, I think about this at weddings, and I'll be watching it, and I'll just kind of watch the dad of the bride, because I just imagine he's thinking, up until that point, he can live in denial that his, little baby girl has not done it. Right.
That's where your mind goes.
And he's
in his defense,
in the back of his mind, I was a wedding DJ for years.
Matt DJ a lot of weddings. So.
That's funny. I mean, I just picture some dad thinking, she could still say no. Someone could still object, and then, they say I do, and that's.
That glass isn't the only thing breaking tonight, Dad.
So in your mind, they're virgins and they're saving themselves. So I don't know what weddings you've been DJing.
No, well, I'm not saying. I'm saying like dads can, as parents, we can kind of live in that denial, like, oh, my baby's been pure.
Oh, exactly.
And up until that point, Dad has been able to continue that state of denial. And once that vow is made, holy shit, my baby's going for it tonight. It's happening.
Because even if she's the purest woman in the world, even if you're in that much denial, she's the purest woman in the world, she knows she's saving herself for today.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, that's funny. Isn't that such an old-fashioned notion? Aren't we full of hang-ups and old notions and a woman has to be pure, all that old shit of like being pure and saving yourself for a man too. But really, let's be honest, it's an impetus placed on the woman, to be pure. The guy can run around and be a dog, but the woman should remain pure.
Right.
It's this old antiquated thing that's so dumb to think about, but some people still probably think like that. So I picture the old school dad that's thinking like that. You have to like shut that part of your brain off. I realize those dumb antiquated notions. You just discard them out of your brain. Just dump them out of your brain, like you're emptying the trash on your computer. Like you just dump it. And so like having a daughter, if she's only 10 months old, but you fast forward in your mind to like, what's it going to be like for all the different stages in her life? And it's like, she's just going to live her life and do her thing. You can't, there's a dad thing here that's, they don't want to think of their daughter doing anything bad, any boy comes over and I'll be cleaning my shotgun that boy knows that, I mean business. And it's so silly because, she's going to live her life. And, so I think about that stuff a lot. And it's like all that stuff, who cares? Yeah. They got to live their life. But I'm sure as a wedding DJ, I'm sure you saw all sorts of different family dynamics and, everything different.
I've seen all kinds of things happen. Kind of on a semi-related note, and this wasn't me. This was a guy I work with who told me about doing a wedding reception. And man, it was just popping. Everybody was having a good time. The dance was going, and the floor was just packed. And like an hour in, maybe the guy, and he had 4 more hours booked, something like that. And the groom came up and was like, "Yeah, let's shut it down." And he was like, "What the hell? Why do you want to shut it down?" Everybody, let's shut it down. It's time to wrap it up. We need to go. And then the best man came up to my buddy and said, "Okay, so the groom's a virgin."
Oh, wow. Flip the script.
Wait, so the groom wanted to shut down so they could leave
anymore, so he could go. God. Yeah.
That's so good. That's almost amazing. Like you couldn't make that up. Like that's like out of a movie or something.
Wrap it up, B.
Wrap it up. But you've got me booked for 4 more hours, man. I was just busting into my third set. What are you? Yeah. Let's. He's giving you a wrap up sign. Or whatever. You guys stay here and dance. My wife and I are leaving right now for the Holiday Inn. We're going to the Holiday Inn down the road. Man.
Well, I think they were actually in a hotel, so they were just going to go upstairs.
Oh, even better. Yeah, we're going up to the suite, and later days, dickheads. You guys keep dancing down here to fucking Lady Gaga or whatever, and I'll be up there. That's good. Well, good.
It's your first time. Take your 3 minutes. Come back down. Everybody will still.
You guys, I didn't know you guys have such dirty minds. I didn't know that this was. Oh my gosh! Allow me to clutch my pearls.
Filth.
Yeah, they're gone for the length of one Miley Cyrus song.
Right.
Like, oh, you guys are back. Oh, we only played one song.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, it's people. I bet that was good. People watching and just observing.
It really was.
Yeah. I've heard some good stories.
Yeah. I always thought that'd be fun. Yeah. I bet there's a lot of good ones. Yeah. I always thought that'd be fun. Something like that would be a fun thing.
Oh, yeah.
You get to see a lot of different kind of people.
I saw, one where the bride got so drunk she passed out in the bathroom, whacked her head on the sink going down.
Oh, geez.
Had to get rushed off in an ambulance.
Oh, I don't like that one bit. That's insane. I mean, that's like, that gives me a bad feeling.
I've seen groomsmen come to fisticuffs over bridesmaids.
Whoa. She's mine. No, she's mine. That's funny. Oh my God. Just a bunch of different type of people shoved together in a situation, like it's so funny.
Oh yeah. And all the extended family and everybody else who just doesn't know anything about each other.
Yeah. Two worlds colliding, it's my friends from work mixed with my grandma and my buddies, that I fucking knew in college mixed with my uncle over here, mixed with his kids. And they're all just there, it's such a cross section of humanity. Wow.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I could write a book. Maybe I should.
Yeah, you should write a book. My wife and I eloped. We kind of avoided all that. I was lucky. I mean, I'm just lucky to have her at all, but I was also lucky that she didn't really want much hubbub. She didn't want to be the center of attention. She didn't want any of that stuff. She just I just want to be married. I don't want to get married. I want to be married, And so can we just flip a switch? So we had, my friend, do the ceremony. That's, he sent away in the back of a comic book or whatever to get his, licensed at the Universal Life Church or whatever, and really good friend of mine. And he happened to be around, and just whatever buddies were around. I happened to be at the recording studio at Flat Black Studios in Iowa City, recording some songs with some friends, and we just decided to get married. We're like, we'll get married in the backyard, and have my friend officiate it, and my wife is so amazing. She just didn't want all the hubbub, as I say. And I don't know, she's just amazing. So we just had a short little ceremony, signed the papers, did the thing, and so I kind of avoided the whole like a stereotypical big wedding. I mean, there's something cool to that. I mean, it's interesting. I'm glad people do it, but my wife and I avoided all that.
Boy, yeah. Well, you lucked out there, I think.
Well, we thought like even a small wedding takes money and
oh yeah,
right.
Like damn, what are people going to eat? Oh shit, where are they going to sit? What are they? It starts to add up, and that's fine. That's all cool. That's cool. People that do that. I've been to some amazing weddings. My friends have had some cool. There's cool ways to do it, that aren't just the traditional thing, but
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's cool. And people are doing that more and more. Kind of doing weird things. I don't know what you guys' experiences are. I don't even know if either of you are married. I don't know.
No, we're both married.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's okay. That's what I was thinking. So yeah. So all about.
Yeah. You met my wife.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Forgive me. No, I remember, seeing you guys and meeting her, and because you guys had got a babysitter and everything.
Yeah, and we had to dash out before the end of your set because the babysitter had to be home by a certain time.
Oh, of course, and that's paramount. I mean, I realize now that's everything. Like you're just glad to have made it out for even a little bit, man.
Right.
I definitely that makes so much sense. Like later days, guys, I got to get home. Like. That's the most.
I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. Trust me, I'm not trying to be a dick.
No, God, no. You're being a dick would be like leaving your babysitter there.
Yeah.
Like that's being a dick. Being a cool guy and a great dad is and mom is going home when your kid needs you. That's being cool,
right?
Yeah, I don't think you met mine. I know she was at the show though. I don't think you met my wife. Well, we met the first time when you played here, opening for Big Smith.
That's right,
in Columbia. Yeah, because I live in Columbia. Matt lives in Kansas City.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that show.
Yeah, that was a super fun show. That's right. That's how this whole thing kind of got.
Yeah.
The idea for all this got started was at that Big Smith show. That seems like a lifetime ago. Damn.
Yeah, oh my God. So many things seem like that.
Isn't that true? Let's see. Big Smith. That was 2019 as well, I think.
Yeah. Would have had to have been, I think.
Fall. Well, yeah, because my wife was pregnant.
Late summer,
so, it was like September. It was chill. There was a chill in the air. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Well,
I was wearing a jacket. I remember that.
But yeah, it was outside at the Rose Music Hall, Rojo's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rojo's.
It used to be called Mojo's.
Mojo's.
So,
yeah.
Right? Some people call it Rojo's. But that was super fun. In fact, I was just listening to Big Smith yesterday. I've been playing my daughter music and stuff, like playing her records and just playing her all, like we listen to music. We're home all day, so it's awesome.
Right.
I'll just play records and stuff. And we were listening to Big Smith, and it made me think of that show and just thinking about how much I love those guys and just being down there and that neck of the woods. I just like it down there. It's just cool. And those guys are great. But I was being wistful and was thinking about that show, listening to them guys.
Yeah. Did you play Mojo's back when it was Mojo's?
Yeah. Yep. A few times. With like Murder by Death. I played there. I played there with Tim Barry. Did some like headline shows there. Yeah. It's fun to think back to these shows now that we can't go to shows.
Right.
I think back to like with fondness to I'm sure you guys have been to a million great shows. I mean, we talked about that before, but like, you think back and it's kind of, all I have is just thinking back to them shows, and just wishing that, looking to a future where there are shows again. I know there's I know people are doing drive-in shows and different types of shows and whatever, but anyway, it's fun to think back. That was a really, really fun one. Big Smith, man. I just love those guys. And then the Creek Rocks, him and Cindy.
His wife,
Yep. I mean, of course. And so at that show, I got the vinyl of the Creek Rocks album. I knew them kind of, but wasn't super familiar. And got their record there and got super into those guys too. And Mark and Cindy, like, they're just awesome.
Yeah, I need to check in with Mark. I haven't talked with him in a little bit.
Yeah. I just sent him a link for my dad's stuff. I just re-edited and converted a bunch of tapes of my dad's old songs.
Oh yeah, you sent me some of that stuff.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Yeah, I'll send you the link for the new stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Matt put together a Bandcamp for him, a bunch of his tracks. I was surprised how many you had. What was it like? At least like a dozen.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I bet he was so stoked to have you do that and work with his boy and have you do that and shit. I bet he was excited.
Who, my dad? He passed away.
Oh yeah, he died 3 years ago. Yep.
Oh, okay. Shoot. I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I would like for him to be happy about that. So
no, God damn it. I misunderstood.
No. Hey, dude, it's been close to 40 years. I am cool. I have dealt with that shit. I'm okay.
All right. No, I know, but
you're supposed to research everything about us and our lives. How dare you?
Well, shit.
I'm not hurt at all. We'll edit that shit out if you're worried about it, but I'm not hurt. Okay.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's a real moment. I mean, my dad's dead. Like, he died when I was in my teens, but so if someone, that was a long time ago. So if someone brings it up, it's not painful. It's just something that happened,
Right. I was 12. Right. So I'm pushing 50 now. So I'm there.
Yep. Nope. I hear you. And, but you know what? I think, so I'm sorry for that faux pas. But I do think, I don't believe in a heaven or afterlife or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I see why people do, because, you'd think, man, your dad would be excited. He's
right.
in some other plane. Not even heaven, but some other plane of reality. Like, he's going, attaboy,
Right. Well, at the very least, this is my way of getting him to live on in some ways.
That's more like it. Actually, I'm into metaphysical stuff and the unseen and there's things we don't know. I am into that for sure. But there's nothing like the good old fashioned, just the truth of it, which is people live on by reverberating through our hearts and minds. Us talking about them right now. I mean, we're talking about them, right? All these years later, that's how you live on. It's not even metaphysical, although I have fun thinking about that stuff. This is just that is how you live on, right? People talking about you, remembering you. They say that, you only die when the last person doesn't, the last person dies that remembered you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the movie Coco, if you haven't seen it, you're going to, because you're a dad.
You're a dad now. Yep. You're going to see all those Disney movies.
Oh, you know what?
That's a good one, actually.
I love all that stuff. I'm actually a fan of, I grew up like a lot of us did watching all them cartoons like that and Disney and all that stuff. And I'm a fan of that. But Coco I have not seen, but I have heard that very thing, that like it's just something to be watched. And I know it's a unique, not only culturally, like it was just cool to see a peek into a different culture,
Yeah.
If different if you're white or what. I mean,
yeah. Well, that.
I mean, like not different though. If you're of Latin descent, or a lot of it would seem very familiar to you. So that's really cool. For us, it'd be a peek into a different, the Dia de los Muertos and things like that. So I really do want to see it, because I did hear it was really great. So the idea that your soul is something that I don't know. What's the concept of it? Like your soul goes somewhere, or
right? That when you die, as long as somebody remembers you, you're not totally dead.
Yeah.
Right. And it's when everybody has forgotten you that you disappear.
Yeah.
Basically. So it's like then that's why they have that Day of the Dead, right? That's so that they can remember that and celebrate them and keep that memory going. That's my understanding is after that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that is right. And it's not a grief. I mean, there's an underlayment of grief maybe, but it's a celebration, right? It's not a drag. Mm-hmm. You're excited. You see the celebrations. I've only seen like footage. I've never had the good fortune of being in a place where they were doing the celebrations, but they're excited. You're thinking of your loved ones. Don't they even go to cemeteries and like with drinks and have you're commiserating with the dead in a way.
Yeah.
That's great, man. What a cool culture, man.
Yeah, it is. We need a lot more of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That Coco movie, I'm definitely going to watch that, by the way. I'm writing it down. I got to check that out because I think you're right. I think we don't let her see screens right now, but when she turns 1 or 2 or whatever, it'll be like Peppa Pig time or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like, hey, can you sit and watch whatever Little Mermaid, or I don't know, something. So Coco, that'll be in the rotation. That'll be cool.
So this is a weird kind of in the right area of transition, but a little different kind of people that you have been associated with that were really worth celebrating that aren't with us anymore. Like I last time we had you on, I really wanted to talk about, you toured with Chris Cornell, didn't you?
Yeah. Isn't that, things that make us think of the people that have passed on, I think about that stuff so much, but Chris Cornell was such a great guy. I was thinking about him recently, actually. And so I did that tour in 2011. Uh-huh. I got the call to open up for him, and I had a new record called Field Songs that was about to come out, but it wasn't quite out yet. My then girlfriend, now wife, and I were living over in my converted corn crib that now is down the road. Now my brother lives in, and I remember getting the call that I got invited to come open up for Chris Cornell, and of course,
holy shit, how would that feel?
It felt so good. In fact, I mean, I'll never forget it because I'm 42. I'm about to be 43. Whatever. We're all of the age where, I mean, I think that Soundgarden meant a lot to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm of the age where that meant so much to me, and I still love.
Yeah,
it still means a lot to me. I'll always have a place in my heart for them, and so that was like getting a call from freaking Robert Plant or what. I mean, about that. So
sure.
Yeah. So got the call to do a 5-week tour with him, or no, 6 weeks, 6 week tour. And I was like, I don't know, that's longer than I don't know. I'm about to do a record. I'll have to turn right around and go on tour with this record. And she said, honey, she didn't slap me, but she almost was like, you got to do this.
You have to. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. She speaks the truth and is, she knows what to say, and she's right. So anyway, I was like, yeah, I'll do this. And it started in February, I think, of that year. And I'll just never forget meeting him for the first time down in Austin, Texas was the first show. So yeah, drove right down to Austin. I mean, he is a figure of, he's a rock star of our time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He was a figure of, I just listened to his music so much. And it's like meeting one of your heroes, in a way. Yeah. So it's so nice and cool and just a real person. So we did a 6-week tour together. And there was one thing where there was some shows in Canada, and I'd had some legal trouble before. So getting into Canada is sometimes sketchy if you've had legal trouble. So I got detained at the border and had to go to jail for a night in Canada. And they did a deportation hearing. They did not let me in. So I called my manager and was like, dude, I'm getting detained at the border for some weed charge from 12 years ago or whatever, some dumb thing. So can you tell Chris's people, I can't make like the 3 shows that we're doing or whatever. So that was all fine or whatever. So I met up with him in Chicago. Was the next show when they were back, and I could, back in the States, and I could rejoin the tour.
Right.
And he gave me, this is crazy. I walked out, I was like carrying my gear in, or like up to the side of the stage, and there he was, and he was tall. He was like a tall guy, and he came up to me and gave me a big hug. He's like, oh, I heard about your troubles in Canada. Like, we're so glad to have you back on tour. We were worried, man. You had to go to jail in Canada.
Wow.
He gave me a hug. Like, I'll never forget that feeling. It was so wild. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm here to rejoin the tour. But that's the kind of guy he was. He was just cool and nice. You know, he had a lot of demons. I mean, as you guys know, a lot of addictions. At this time, he was sober. In fact, there wasn't any, they told me like, we can sneak you a 6-pack into your dressing room or whatever. But in general, it's not a party atmosphere like backstage. There's nothing, no alcohol or nothing. Chris is sober. We don't do that. And so, I was like, oh, I don't need anything. We'll keep it cool for Chris, man. I don't even need a 6-pack. Like it was all. Well,
I'd be high just to know I was there, man.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing, right? It's like, oh, I'm just glad to be here, and I'm proud of him for being on his journey and being okay at that time. I know he had a lot of ups and downs, clearly, but yeah. And then so from Chicago, there was a few more shows, and then we had a long break, and then back up in Seattle at the Paramount Theater, which is a nice old historic theater. And so a really cool thing, being in Seattle, of course, really, really cool with him. And so I got to meet Kim Thale, who's always been a hero too, the guitar player in Soundgarden. Yes. And he was really cool. I don't know. I was nothing. I mean, I'm the opening nobody,
Right.
but he was really cool. They were really cool. His buddies in Soundgarden came out. Matt Cam was probably on tour with Pearl Jam. Matt Cameron wasn't there, but Ben Shepherd and Kim Thale were there. So
nice.
So they were really cool. I don't know. I just a million little things about him and that whole tour that were really interesting. And then, getting the news that he died, man, his demons finally just caught up to him. And it was just too bad, but he was a fucking cool guy.
No, I remember the morning that broke out, and I was out of town. I was in Minnesota, so I thought that was kind of weird because I was definitely feeling Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
That day. But John, got the news before. He sent me a text, first thing that morning, don't check the mail. Don't check the news.
Yeah. Which, just...
Which of course,
check the news. Yeah, that was a bad day. That was the same day I went in for my surgery. Yeah.
What surgery did you have?
I had a spinal surgery, and it got botched.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, left me paralyzed for a while.
Damn. Is that something you've talked about a lot on here and are sick of talking about?
No, I actually don't talk about that much at all.
You don't have to at all, but that's interesting. Man, that's crazy.
Sucked. Yeah. It was that morning, and I was getting ready to go under the knife, and then found out about it. And then, woke up, and after the surgery, it was supposed to be kind of a standard, just a laminectomy and kind of a disc removal thing where the disc was impinging and hurting me like crazy. What happened is the scar tissue of where that was cut caused a lot of swelling, and then was pushing on my spine. I remember waking up that morning after the surgery was over, in post-op, in the little, recovery room. They have you in there with a bunch of other people. And I remember them just being slammed. I was barely conscious at all. So many, painkillers, everything else I was on and under IV, but I was just remember saying there's something wrong. Something's not right. I figured out I couldn't move my legs at all And I teach during the year, so it was like I was taking the summer essentially to get that surgery, get healed up, go back to school, etc. Well, I spent my entire summer in physical rehab and in hospitals learning how to walk again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Just like the movie, that you can imagine you're walking on the parallel bars and all that shit, and you can do it and couldn't feel anything and wheelchair bound for a while. I still have issues with it. I still have, I've got some permanent paralysis, but I'm able to walk. So yeah, never fully recovered from it.
Yeah.
But back then it was really scary. Just, waist down.
No, we were all just really scared.
Yep. Really freaked out. That's how I remember it. Was the same day.
Dang. Isn't that when things coincide like that? So those things are forever joined in your memory, of course. Oh boy. Well, geez, I'm glad it worked out as well as it did. Despite it's
could have been worse.
Isn't that
in a few years?
Isn't that the way? These human bodies we have, these carcasses we walk around in, man. Like it's crazy they work as well as they do. Even with all we put them through and everything. I'm always struck with what the human body as a machine, what it actually is and does. It's so amazing. So when you're hit with an existential crisis like that, where it's literally like your movement, your mobility.
Oh yeah.
When you're hit with that right in the face, and it just like, wow, makes you realize it's a tough shell we walk around in, but it's also such a fragile one.
Yeah, definitely is. Another big reason why I don't believe in intelligent design. Because, I don't think it's been that great of a job. Really, like the human heart, for example, just sucks. It's fucking terrible. It is. It's a shitty machine. It doesn't work well. Kills most of us, Just, one of those little chambers goes out and you're just fucked. You're dead. In like a cow, they can a cow can lose one for a while, and a couple chambers can go in and out, and they're good to go. You never know. Human being though,
right?
A little vein pops at the bottom of your brain or whatever, and you're just a goner.
Right. I guess that's the price we paid for opposable thumbs. I don't know.
Right. Well, and the spine in general too, they say about it with evolution is like, we were kind of designed, when first we were ape-like creatures, and, we were mostly kind of bent over and hunched over, just like any other mammal. So the standing upright thing, they think, comes from standing up in tall grasses, being able to look around for predators and shit, right? And then short bursts, maybe running to a tree and, shimmying up it before the saber-tooth gets you or whatever. And, but other than that, we found that view pretty advantageous and kind of stuck with it, but the spine is just horrible. The load that we have on it all the time, just not meant to really use it like
take that much. Yeah.
And then we've got this brain that tells us we should do shit like cross country running. And and we do, and then we're like, ow, this really, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you're really not supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to jump off the top rope in a wrestling match and do a flip and land on your back. You're telling me that evolution says don't do a triple flip in the air and land on your back. Humans. We've taken it to the nth degree, man. Like what once was us standing up above the tall grass to get a better view is now us standing tall. That means something. That's you stand up straight, stand up tall. Really, my spine is an S shape, man. I guess they all are, but mine is more than most people's, and it comes from a life of labor and and carrying shingles. Yep, I used to work. I worked construction for years, and I can pinpoint times when 80-pound bundles of shingles up a ladder to a roof, while the real roofers attached the shingles. I was the grunt that that just carried up the shingles.
The gopher.
Exactly. And so that my spine does not thank me for that.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it funny the evolution of what the human machine, again, like what are we meant for? What is it? It's always evolving, of course.
Right.
What are we? Should we be on all fours, man? I mean, maybe that is the way.
Maybe.
That'll be the next movement, right? That'll be like,
down.
We were never meant to do that. We're meant to eat vegan and walk on all fours. And I don't know.
Yeah, our sharp teeth go away. Our canine teeth slowly become less sharp.
Yeah. That could be it. That could be it. Be the new like CrossFit. It's just you see people walking around on their hands and. Yeah.
Are you evolved? Are you evolved like I am?
Right. I just have a hard time believing in a God that said, like, someday these things are going to play football. So,
right. Down the road, like the insult for someone. Oh, they're such a biped.
Yeah, not like us quadrupeds.
Right.
Down here. The human machine, the armature, the tendons and muscles and sinew that makes us up. I disagree that the heart is a bad machine. I mean, think about what it does actually as a muscle. I mean, it does fail sometimes, but think about the 99% of time it doesn't fail. It's just beating away right now.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate, but think about that muscle. You're not telling it to beat. It just electricity makes it beat. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. What it can do is incredible. I just think that if there was, really a God and there was intelligent design, he would have been like, let's throw another one of those in there.
No, that's true. A backup.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. Be a good idea.
Hook us up, God.
Build it.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to give him 2 hands, but only 1 heart.
Right. Yep.
I guess that makes sense.
You lose an eye and you got another one.
Right. I'd rather have a backup heart than a backup ear, I think, now that I think about it.
Extra pinky finger. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 1 ear, 2 hearts, man. That's what we should have.
That's the next record title. 1 ear, 2 hearts.
Exactly. I'm writing that down right now. Man. So it was crazy to have it. So you're talking about a record. I'm gonna parlay us back into music.
No. We're gonna go from walking to dope walking. How's that?
Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, good. Because not a lot of people ask me about that, and so I was able to have 2 records come out last year.
Yeah.
And that Dope Walker project as a side project was really fun, and I was just so glad that it came out. I mean, we only pressed a couple hundred of the vinyl. I should send you guys a vinyl or a couple if you didn't get one.
Oh yeah, man. I got your just individual record, but I haven't got the Dope Walker yet. I wanted to get that.
Oh shoot, yeah, I'll send you a couple. I could send you guys each one. But
that would be awesome.
Yeah, so it was really a fun side project. I have a few other side bands that I like to play in, and mostly it's an excuse to be with friends and hang out with friends. And so, I have a lot of talented musician friends, which I feel so fortunate about. But, it's always that thing of like, let's just start a band. And then that way we can go to the studio and record for a week and hang out and drink beer and make a record, So Dope Walker was a fun chance to hang out with old friends and make a different kind of music than I'm used to. A couple guys from Minnesota and then a couple buddies from Iowa. And so it was really fun to have it all come together.
Yeah.
I could feel just listening to that. Last time we had you on, we kind of talked about those punk rock roots, and I could feel that coming out in the Dope Walker record.
Yes. So we each have different roots in a way. As I said, there's 2 guys. They were used to be in this band called the Plastic Constellations that I used to tour with, over 20 years ago now. Mm-hmm. That I've known. They were like 17 or 18, and I was like 22 or whatever. And they were this great band called the Plastic Constellations from the Twin Cities, and we did this tour, and hit it off and became friends. And, they put out a lot of great records on their own. And then the guitar player in Dope Walker was in a band called 10 Grand that I think I talked last time about. My major coming up was playing with this band called 10 Grand, opening up for them on tour.
Yeah.
They're who brought me around the nation, basically, and showed me every nook and cranny of this nation. So I've been friends with him forever. He was in that band. And then the drummer I've known forever. So it was just really, we all have different influences. So it was fun to kind of bring all those influences together. You talk about the punk rock roots, those Twin City guys there's a lot of hip hop roots. Laserbeak he's a producer. He produced like Lizzo's first record, and there's a whole hip hop tradition up there in the Twin Cities too. And so it's that mixed with punk, mixed with making beats on a drum machine, mixed with indie rock, mixed with, I always bring like a country folk sensibility into things, even if it's just a chord progression. So I bring that. So yeah, there was a lot of different influences coming in, but it was really fun because it's not like anything I would ever do on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that seemed to be a departure of what you've been typically doing anyway for a while. But man, I really dug it. I really enjoyed Save. I'm listening to it all week. And your new record, but So how was that putting out? Well, I mean, I know you have a USB mic now as a result, so you're probably doing a lot of that online. How was that experience for you? Doing the sharing shit and sharing files and stuff.
You mean sharing files with Dope Walker?
Or with any of the, just doing any of the online mixing and stuff.
Oh yeah. So that we that was all mixed and done before everything.
Before it broke. Well,
yep. And that was all done in like January of last year. Just right before the world was about to change. That was all, and like most of the recording had been done before that even. It takes a long time, especially when you all live in different cities and stuff, and like getting together is a big deal. So, but that was all finalized in like January. Yeah. So we were able to do that all together, which was really fun. And then, same with my solo record, which, I mean, that was supposed to come out in May of last year.
Yeah.
But it had been done. I mean, it had been done way before that, like probably fall of 2019. There's always a lag time, but a record's done and then 5 months later it works out and it comes out and whatever. By the time you get the art finished and all that stuff. So those I was able to do with my friends, with people in the same room and stuff. So the I'm With You, my solo record. It was supposed to come out in May. It was going to do this big tour. My daughter was going to be like a month and a half old, and it was like, all right, I'm going to have to hit the road. And, we were ready to do that, and it was going to be crazy, but we were going to do it. And and then in March, everything hit, and so it got put off. And, and come like September, it was like, can we just put this thing out? I don't know when I'll be able to tour again.
Right.
I don't know. It was Bloodshot Records, and they're like, yeah, let's just put it out. So it came out in October of last year with, no touring, no nothing, just putting it out. And I did some, online shows, or I did like an online release show, like a live stream or whatever. It's crazy. It's not, I'm sure you've seen some of them and you've talked to some people. That's the new way to play the show. So that was it. I, played the record to my computer for nobody. And, but so it was wild, man. It was a truly crazy time, but I just wanted the record to be out there. I was so proud of it. It had been done for months at that point. I just was like, man, I just want people to hear it.
It's a really good record, man.
Oh, it's really good.
Man, thank you. I'm so proud of it. And I just really took a lot of time to we wanted to make it as good as possible. And I just really was proud of the lyric writing and everything. And so I just wanted people to hear it. And so not being able to do shows on it was crazy. But the time when I finally am able to do shows again,
Yeah.
You hear my dog barking?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog's barking at a raccoon or something.
Some yolks out there or something.
Yeah, my dog's a good old watchdog.
Good.
Yeah, I'm out in my music studio here, and she's outside barking. So
we love dogs.
Yeah. So by the time I am playing these songs, people would have known the record for over a year. So it won't won't be like the new songs anymore. It'll be like you'll know the songs. That's my hope anyway.
Right. Well, that's kind of a nice thing too. You like to see that somebody responded to something new, but it's also really nice as an audience member to know the song sometimes too, because I love to sing along, and I certainly enjoy hearing a new song and trying to take it in. But I love just knowing that song too when I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is that participatory thing. Like, we're all on the same page. You've had this record for like a year now, and I'm with you. I said I'm with you, but see, that's the title. That's everything.
Right.
That's like,
right.
I'm with you, man. Like I'm with you. We're together. That's what the title means. Is like we're together. Like humanity.
Right on.
We're together.
What an important time to have that message. Yeah.
Let's get together, even though that was all decided way before all this pandemic and shit, but it still applies, I want to sing a song with my friends and so, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I really dig MK Ultra Blues. I've got to put that on at least once or twice a week when I commute during the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad you mm-hmm. like that one. That's probably my favorite song on the album. Really? Just because I'm so proud of the. It was like a puzzle putting that one together. I knew what I wanted to achieve with it, the beginning, middle, end, and I wanted to write a song that was in that tradition of. I know it from Woody Guthrie. But famously, Bob Dylan took that formula and ran. But it's that talking blues formula. And I'm sure Woody Guthrie got it from, who knows, some itinerant fruit picker,
right?
Some worker, or whatever. It's story songs that they have a cadence. There's a certain cadence that goes with those songs. And I was like, I want to do one in that tradition. And I've long been fascinated with that chapter of our history. And so there was a beginning, middle, and end. And I was like, well, I want internal rhymes in each line. And in each end of the line has to rhyme, and it was like putting together a puzzle. It was almost mathematical while trying to tell a story. So I was very proud of that one, just as a songwriter. You'd stand back if you were a woodworker and you were like, look at these fine dovetail joints. Look how there's no gap. I'm like, look at this song. It's dovetailed perfectly. There's no fat on the bone. Like it's right. I was proud of that.
And what a crazy story too. My wife just got me the book Chaos.
Right.
By Tom O'Neill. I don't know if you've read that one on MK Ultra.
I have not.
Oh yeah. The guy was a journalist, and he was supposed to write a story. I think it was just on Hollywood, and the Manson murders came back up again, around that time we're gaining popularity, and they were just like, write a little piece on Manson. He started looking into it and, wrote this piece, and he essentially found, he's like, this cannot be summed up in an article. He was just supposed to write an article and turn it into a book. It took like 15, 20 years of his life just to write this thing, because he just kept exposing thing after thing, and found out, like with the MK Ultra program and with the San Francisco clinic that was giving out LSD, we found out later to people like Parliament Funkadelic and stuff were participating in that. They were like giving them, acid and watching them for a little while and like documenting it, everything. But
see, I didn't know that. That's wild as hell.
Yeah, that's where they got turned on to doing a lot of acid and hallucinogens. Was basically the state, or the feds, giving it to them. And they would pay them at the end of the day, be like, here's your tab. And then they'd sit there and document how it went for the day. And then they'd pay him $20. But the same clinic was also, turns out, was giving LSD to Charlie Manson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Yeah. So the feds are the ones who are feeding it to him this whole time. And I guess due to Freedom of Information Act stuff, it all came to light, and the feds couldn't do anything about it to shut the book down. But it's like the moment all this information started coming out on MK Ultra and the program, they shut down the whole clinic and everything, and just all kind of ghosted and disappeared, within a day.
Yeah, once your clandestine game is up, you kind of got to like blow the building, man. You got to just get out of there.
Yep.
See, isn't that so? Okay, so I'm gonna bring this all back around.
Awesome.
For every good, there's an opposite bad. Like this is what we were talking about at the very beginning, man. Like for the state doing these experiments, whatever intention they would have had, they're giving LSD to people to just experiment on them and observe them and see what's happening. So you start a Parliament Funkadelic, which is just an undeniable positive force in this world. I mean, right. George Clinton and Bootsy, and I don't know who all did the experiment, but like they went on to make this beautiful, psychedelic, crazy, original music.
Right.
That was better for humanity. The human race was better. The human race was better because Parliament and George Clinton existed. But on the other hand, they gave Charlie Manson LSD too. So you're creating one good thing, Parliament, okay, but then the opposite, Charlie Manson and all his fucking that guy. I'm gonna take a stand and say I don't like what he did. I'm gonna take a stand and say I'm not into it. But
right.
I'm just putting it out there.
I don't know. You're going to be getting some mail now.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
okay. Well, I do not like it. No, but
I can.
But again, that's your positive, and then your negative in one fell swoop, and that brings us clear around. That brings us back to where we started, boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Before I forget, who are we speaking to again? Now that we're coming back,
we're going to
around?
start recording.
Take a drink.
Yep. You probably heard that I have been drinking beer. I poured myself a beer. You might have heard that on the audio. I don't know if you want to cut that out or whatever.
No, I'm having.
We should start recording here if you want to. I don't know. I feel good about the pre-interview. but that MK Ultra Blues song I was really proud of, and so I appreciate that compliment. Yeah, the whole record I'm just really proud of, and it's been fun to work on a lot of new music here. And now that I'm home all the time, as I'm sure that everyone is, every artist, or not just artists, whatever. Like we're home all the time, and we're creating more than ever. So I've been writing.
Yeah.
Writing a lot. I'm sure as you talk to people, you're hearing them say a lot that there's going to be a big resurgence of music when this thing's over.
Yeah,
I think there will be. I think we've also been talking to a lot of people that haven't just been like writing new music, but they've kind of gone back to the vaults to stuff that they kind of had forgotten about. That, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm just going to put this aside and kind of forgot about it. Brushed it off, and hey, what do you know? This is kind of good. I might put this out there. So a lot of stuff has been getting out there that wouldn't have been out there, and I think that's been kind of cool too.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised to hear that. We talked to Dimitri Mara from Dungeon Weed. Him and Chris McGrew from Griddle put this album together in San Francisco, and I was asking about the writing process, and he was essentially like, "Well, I had it already written, like 2 years ago, and I just kind of stuck, tucked it away and." Know about it, and Chris was asking him about cutting record. He's like, I've got this record I made and put it out, but it's really amazing. So I'm glad to see people digging back into some of their old stuff or writing creative. I mean, you got to do something,
right?
While we're all down and shut down. You're just in the writing phase. Or are you doing any recording yet, or for the new record?
Well, I haven't been doing any recording because that would mean, even though it's my cousin that I record with up near Iowa City, it means going to a place and being around people. And I'm still not.
Yeah.
I'm still really weary about doing that. I'm one of these guys that's, man, I wear a mask, man. And I'm super careful with this newborn baby. You know, I'm
absolutely.
I believe in the protocols and stuff. And even my buddies that like, and they all believe, you know, they're all being careful too. It's just being around people it's harder than it used to be. So no, I haven't gone to the studio yet. But the cool thing is that I have my little rudimentary studio out here, so I can demo everything out. I can actually, I've got drums, bass, guitar amps, everything out here, so I can, you know, demo the songs out and get them all sort of, you know, get the broad strokes ready before it is time to go to the real studio and actually make it sound good. So that's been fun. It's just like demoing out the songs here. So I'm lucky in that way. Yeah. So writing basically and demoing stuff out, and I can hear it over and over again and realize like what I need to change and what edit and everything else. So, yes, still in that phase. And of course, lyrics are always changing and getting refined and sharpened. And there's a few different projects. I have my solo thing that's always paramount, but then, you know, new Dope Walker stuff, new Middle Western, Hallways of Always, like these bands that I'm in, you know, I'll come up with an idea and I'll think, oh, that's a Middle Western song. I'll do that. Or like I'll think, oh, that's a Dope Walker riff. Like I should explore that. Yeah. So it's kind of different categories that different ideas can go into. So yeah, that's been fun. And like all of us, man, I'm just in my own head and in my own creative little space here. So
it's hard not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we're all a little bit isolated, man. We see our friends and family as much as we can or not or whatever, but you get in your own head, man. And I don't know if you guys feel that way.
Oh, sure.
No, I totally do.
Yeah, I was thinking about that a little bit when, you know, just talking about memories of shows and, you know, you're talking about the Big Smith show. And I find myself, which is kind of strange because, well, we've been in this for the long haul since last year, you know, say around March when everything really started getting serious, you know, and everything's shutting down. But I think, man, you know, when we talk about memories and stuff on the podcast, but I just, I'm surprised at how often I put memories off of all those good times, good shows, just because I'm kind of like, I'm thinking about being in it for the long haul. And I don't want to sit there and bum myself out from what I can't do anymore, you know, or what we can't do until it's safe again. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. This podcast has been a sanity saver for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we're the same way. I mean, you know, mask up, don't go anywhere. Everything else like that. And it's kept me sane, being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love talking to my wife.
Of course you love talking to your wife. That's your partner, you know, but a person needs somebody else to talk to. You need a wide variety of people to talk to. And that's natural. That's okay. You know, having a podcast is, a pretty cool thing. You know, I probably, if you looked at the demographics, probably 1 million podcasts popped up right when when quarantine, there was probably an uptick in podcasts by like 1,000%.
Oh, I'll bet there were. And I think we kind of timed it well. And that's just total, you know,
luck of the draw.
Happenstance that it happened, that we had been going just long enough that we'd kind of built up a little bit of something and we could kind of go forward from there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's been a lot easier to get people to say, yeah, you know what? I would love to talk to someone right now.
Yeah. Guest availability's been great.
So I'm going to tie in my wife and ask you, and we'll kind of go back to this loss thing. Do you have any familiarity? My wife's a big Justin Townes Earl fan, and I know that you were both on Bloodshot. I didn't know if you had any experience with him, because I know she took that hard when we lost him.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a year last year. I mean, just so much loss and so much awful things. But yeah, Justin Townes Earl. Yeah, what a sad thing. I mean, it just killed me to hear about when someone. It's like the Chris Cornell thing when someone kind of loses their battle with the demons, man. You know, I don't know if you even want to call it a loss of battle. It's just they battled. That was the amount that they could battle. And they're gone, you know, and it's so sad. But he was a cool guy. You know, I didn't know him really well. I did a show with him in Iowa City, Iowa one time. And, you know, by all accounts, just a cool guy, you know, and what a songwriter.
Oh man.
It kills me to think about someone's demons just getting the best of him, you know. And I know he had a wife and a kid that are left behind, and I just think of them too. And you know, it just kills me. I just hate it. You know, and in the time that he died, you know, millions of other people without recognizable names died too. You know, so
sure,
people die, but he, I don't know, he was someone that touched people. You know, he had songs that touched people and had albums that really meant something to people. And
right.
So we would just feel it in an extra way, you know, and just tragic. I feel for his family and his dad. You know, I know his Steve just did a
tribute.
He's been covering his songs, some tributes and stuff. I mean, I can't imagine just your boy.
Oh man,
you knew was trouble. You know, he knew he was troubled. It was no secret, and I'm sure he tried to powwow with him as much as possible to get him on the right track.
And having so much experience with that himself,
of course, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, of course, like Steve Earle went through that same thing too.
Steve's had some massive troubles, yeah.
And then your son. So it's too bad, and that's where we go back to the songs and we listen to the songs and that's what he would want. That's what he would want. You know, same with Chris Cornell or anybody. You know, I reference those two because I did have a tangential relationship with those guys. You know, I just think they would want us to listen to the songs. You know, and listen to the songs, listen to the music. And that's what they would want. And, you know, and as I say, there was millions of faceless, nameless people that died in that time too. That not nameless. I mean, they had names, but we don't know them. You know.
I know what you're saying.
To pay respect,
right,
to them as well. But you know, the famous people that touched our hearts. You know, listen to their music, and that's what they would want.
Yeah,
they would.
And I'm trying to keep in mind too, we're getting to that age just to where, you know,
your
40s to your 50s is just when you got to think about it. A lot of those people were 30 years old, 40 years old when you were a kid, and you know, you grow up on some of their music.
Right.
It's like, about time, you know, I mean, so, I think disproportionately we've lost a lot of people, I think lately.
I think
early and young.
Yeah. And for me, it's hard to imagine anyone that I grew up listening to dying when Keith Richards is still alive.
Right. He doesn't count.
I mean,
isn't that insane? I mean, the dude is like Rasputin.
Yeah.
He's just unkillable.
You know, he's had to be like a mainstay on the celebrity death list.
Mm-hmm.
I think he may never die. I think he might just be the exception. He may never die. I mean, that's my theory anyway.
Or he's already dead and his body just is too fucking high to realize it.
He's just going on muscle memory.
Yeah.
His muscles are just still acting and playing guitar and shit.
All the water in his body's been replaced with cocaine.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's quite a preservative.
Well, I mean, I know he cleaned up, but boy, for many years.
No, that's so we talk about these anomalies. You know, our Chris Cornells, our Justin Townes Earls, our people we've lost. And there's Keith Richards, man. It's like
right.
He's just cut from a different cloth. It's like the dude could still he smokes 2 packs a day and whatever.
Oh yeah, Yep.
It's insane. He's got they need to research the shit out of his body when he finally does go.
Yeah.
He needs to donate his body to science because he's got some gene that has been amazingly preservative for him.
Just cut from a cloth.
Now, are the rumors true about his like blood transfusions? I don't know if those are true or not, about him getting blood transfusions like since the 80s or something.
I hope so.
Just getting new blood every once in a while. Yeah.
I hope so.
That wouldn't shock me.
I mean, when you're a billionaire, just get some blood transfusions from like a 19-year-old pool boy or whatever. That's just like healthy platelets, healthy red blood cells, man. Just get them injected in.
Right.
I don't think it's that though. I don't think it's anything like that. I think Keith Richards, man, is just cut from a cloth. He's just cut from a cloth that we don't understand. Some old English stock. Yeah. Some old fucking English stock that just can't be fucking beat down, man. And him and Mick, man, they're here for the long haul. They'll be alive after we're dead.
Right, probably.
We'll be dead. They'll still be alive.
You ever see The Dark Crystal? Maybe that's it, right? Where they just
yeah.
Sucking the life out of gelflings, They're openers and they're standing behind there aiming the crystal at the eye.
It's just they get it at concerts, right? There's somebody at every concert they just drain it out of.
Some young musician who's open for them in the green room, and they're like, just pointing that staff at them, and it's possible. Anything's possible.
I hope so.
That being said, there are still some pretty amazing artists that are out there kicking right now. You're one of them, man. So please stay healthy for us.
Yes.
Hey, I appreciate that so much. I appreciate talking to you guys. Really, this really makes me so happy. Speaking of talking to friends and stuff, this really, really makes me happy. And thank you for even giving me the time to yammer on and give my thoughts and opinions on stuff. And I want to do this many more times. I mean, I want to do this many more times. So thank you for having a format and a platform, to be able to have these conversations. Just, thank you. Thank you for letting me on here and have a good conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You're part of the family by this point.
Yeah.
Especially coming back. Would love to have you back on again and again.
And again, yeah.
And it's good also to get kind of past the, like I say, the interviewee points where we can just bullshit and have fun too. And people like those episodes as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say like we kind of covered some.
We covered
some existential shit during this one, man. And then the next one, we could even go farther, man. I mean, we could get into some deep, dark shit, man.
Those are my favorite episodes, man, where we just go there and just kind of, where the fuck is this going to go? I don't know, but it'll be interesting. That's the whole point of our podcast. I mean, why do you think it's called Undetermined?
Yeah,
because we don't know where the fuck we're going to go with it, and we don't want to know.
Right.
Exactly. Like, what is the point of anything if you're not pushing it forward, putting out something that hasn't been put out before, what is the point otherwise? So this makes me happy. I appreciate this format, Again, the podcast, it's something for the proletariat, it's an equal thing for everybody. Anyone can start one and we can all just talk and this is what it's for. This is what it's for. So
yeah.
I can't wait to see you guys in person again.
Oh man, I really.
Yeah.
And before that, if we can talk over this format again, we can do that. But hopefully we can shake hands again one of these times. But thank you for letting me be on.
Oh man, absolutely. I've had a great time.
No, for sure. We wanted to have you back on for a long time. Like after our first one, John and I were both like, "Oh yeah, we're having him back on."
yeah, it's a good time.
Well, I appreciate it greatly, and it's not hard to get me into shooting the shit, man. I like shooting the breeze.
That's what we like to do.
Yep.
I still got stuff I want to pick your brain over, but I know we should probably wrap this up for your benefit. I know you got family to get back to.
I don't care. Let's rip it, man. Let's keep going. No, I'll tell you what.
What?
I definitely would love to do any of that. We'll save that for the next time. This will be a teaser.
Sounds good.
For number 3, we'll get into some more existential shit.
We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do a part 3. We'll have to do. Right on.
Thank you, boys.
Go ahead and wrap up here and say, all right, everybody, you've been listening to Undetermined, the podcast with a special guest, friend of the show, William Elliot Whitmore.
Yes.
Go check out Dope Walker. I'm With You, his latest album. And his back catalog is amazing, too. It's great stuff.
It's incredible. Thanks so much, Will.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you so much, friends. And we'll do this again.
Right on.